Hola, hola mis queridos loquillos y loquillas del canal, pedacitos de obsidiana tan hermosos cual el sol y ardientes
And
cual
so
la
Susanna
lava.
banished Jinmu from the village and exiled him to the mountains. Jinmu felt completely lost. The history of his clan, the atrocities committed by Amaterasu, Susanoo's just cause. Where was the truth in all of this? And where were the lies? Who was his daughter? What was the real reason for this conflict?
Bueno, continuamos con este título llamado Sclash. Ya vimos las mecánicas de cómo jugar, nos acaban de exiliar, todo por querer arreglar la guerra pacíficamente y devolver la hija del... no me acuerdo cómo se llama. Ya apenas la acaban de mencionar. Pero bueno, vamos a continuar con este duelo a muerte de espadas, de samuráis. Con temática de pinceladas que realmente me está gustando, la verdad.
He remembered very well the story his grandmother had told him. In ancient times, Amaterasu had received the blessing of the mischievous goddess Kitsune in exchange for his blind devotion and unwavering submission. He then began to massacre all those who did not join her cult. That was the origin of this endless conflict. At least that's what Jinmu had been convinced of, until yesterday.
Amaterasu.
Now he wasn't sure of anything anymore. Did death, lifeless bodies, pain and cruelty really have a meaning? Deep in Jinmu's soul, a conviction was beginning to emerge. This war was futile and it could be stopped. And while he was lost in his thoughts, Jinmu continued to advance toward the mountains. The grass became snow as the fresh air of the valley gradually gave way to the icy cold of the peaks. Without realizing it, Jinmu had arrived to the mountains. Legend had it that it was beyond these summits that the abode of the gods was located, and that before inhabiting the valleys, the first samurai had trodden this same snow. But today, it would have been surprising for anyone to inhabit such an inhospitable climate.
Could this be a snowstorm? Grandmother told me about it. Could she have already seen these mountains? Go any further.
Según yo estoy avanzando.
Where am I? I must have passed out.
Young Raven, the wind that blows in this place is too fierce for your wings. Retrace your steps.
Who are you? A god? A ghost? Please, help me.
Ok, el fantasma de las nieves, por así decirlo. ¡Órale! ¿Quién sigue? ¿Quién sigue? ¿Quién dice? Uy, uy. ¡Ay, desgraciado! Ahora sí, ya. Dios. Eso de que te maten, tienes que reiniciar y matar a todos de nuevo, no me gusta. Vienen más, vienen más. No puede ser. Jaja, ahora sí. 5. Hijo de... Ahora sí, 6. Con eso vamos 6. 7. ¿Quién más dice yo? 8. Su madre. Ya van como 6 veces que lo estoy repitiendo. Fuera de broma.
A temple? Here? How can anyone survive in these forbidden mountains? No matter. It's my last hope.
Esto no me gusta nadita. Ah, ya decía yo.
No one would have the strength to survive the storm of Orochi without my protection. Young samurai, who are you? And what are you?
My name is Jinmu. I wander aimlessly. I was banished from my village.
A Ronin?
Because I disobeyed my chief's orders. Grandmother Susano preferred to send me away rather than tell me the truth.
Susano. So you are the grandson of Susano. In any case, you must leave. A boy of your kind would not last long in these mountains.
You don't look very young. I doubt you're more resilient than I.
Insolent! I am Izanagi, the first samurai. And this is the temple dedicated to the god Orochi. I still have some resources left in me, and I will show you.
¿En serio, niño? ¿En serio? ¿Te repones a retar al viejo? Ese se nota que te mata con la mirada. Dios, retrocede. Me lleva. Ay, hijo de su madre. Ahora. Órale. Ay, Dios, ay, Dios, ay, Dios, ay, Dios, ay, Dios. Pinche viejo. No, maldición.
Let that be a lesson to you.
With the exchange of blows, Jinmu's pendant came out of his clothes, which did not escape the old master's notice.
Your necklace. What are you doing with the enchanted pearl of Amaterasu?
What? But it's my mother's necklace. What else has Susano been hiding from me?
That's a beautiful irony of fate. Who would have thought such a miracle could happen one day? This changes a lot of things. Your story is, in a way, my story as well. Sit down, Jinmu. I have many things to tell you.
Ah, por poco le ganaba al viejo.
Long before you were born, I was the first human to meet the gods who came from their garden across the bridge of destiny. They taught me the art of the blade to protect mankind, and in turn, I passed on this knowledge to my peers so that they could continue this sacred mission. We took the name of samurai. Under our watch, peace reigned, and the world was in harmony. You know them as mortal enemies, but at the time, Amaterasu, Susano were my two best disciples. There was a healthy rivalry between them. They were close as only a brother and a sister can be. Time passed, and each started their own family. Susano adopted an abandoned child and raised him as her son. That was your father, Oku. As for Amaterasu, I agreed to give him the hand of my heiress, with whom he then had a single daughter, Kushina. Life could have kept flowing quietly like this, but one day, my daughter fell gravely ill. Amaterasu prayed to the gods to save his wife, but in vain. He then turned to me, begging me to let him enter the garden of the gods to heal her with the divine water. But my loyalty to the gods came first, even before my daughter, and I refused his request. Amaterasu never forgave me. Thus his pain turned into hatred. This was when Kitsune, the fox goddess, chose to pour her venom into the ear of this suffering man. She promised him the survival of his beloved and the power to protect her. In return, Amaterasu had to commit to devoting himself exclusively to Kitsune and renouncing the other gods. Blinded by his pain and by the rage of feeling abandoned, my former disciple agreed to this pact. True to his word, he established the exclusive cult of Kitsune, and, ready to do anything to save his wife, he ruthlessly killed those who refused to follow his madness, and he even ended up seriously injuring me. Susano might have been able to reason with Amaterasu, but without warning anyone, she had already gone to fetch the sacred water for him. When she returned, she found the village in flames and bloodshed. Devastated by this bout of madness from the man she had always considered her brother, she swore not to let these crimes go unpunished. And in her quest for justice, she returned to the garden to implore the help of the gods. It was Tengu, the raven god, who answered her call. Under his wing, and with the help of the survivors, she built the Aki clan. And that is when this merciless war began against those whom Amaterasu had rallied under his banner, the Natsu clan. As for me, I am now the guardian of the bridge that leads to the Garden of the Gods, so that the influence of the divine never causes such ordeals again.
Kushina. That's my mother's name. So that means Amaterasu's daughter is my mother.
Jinmu, you are a descendant of the Aki and Natsu clans.
But then, Amaterasu is my grandfather? And you're my... distant ancestor?
Great-grandfather. It is this family connection that has brought you here safely. Your magic necklace is a token of affection given by Amaterasu to his daughter, through which he passed on his protection to you in turn, a love that protected you from Orochi's blizzard.
So Amaterasu doesn't know that my mother is dead, and thinks she's kidnapped?
Yes. Susano kept everything from him to protect your parents, and you, the product of their forbidden love.
Even after all this time, she continues to hide the truth from him.
Maybe Tengu deliberately obfuscated her mind to perpetuate her feud with his rival.
Hatred, wars, it's all the gods' fault. Now that I know everything, I must be able to dissipate their confusion. I have the blood of both sides in me. I might be able to appease them.
Arrogant. You cannot stop the course of history alone, and Certainly not against the will of the gods.
But you were their master. What if...
Do not count on my help. I can no longer leave these mountains. If you plan to go back, I will not stop you.
Ah. So I have to challenge the gods in order to stop this absurd war. But a human triumphing over the gods is unthinkable. Despite knowing the truth, I still feel like I'm at a dead end.
It is my duty to watch over my descendants. You can stay with me if you want. I will not intervene between my two disciples, but I can at least offer you a place here.
Thank you, Izanagi.
Jinmu, disturbed by these revelations, stayed a while with the Fuyu clan, using his time to train and think.
Diablos, señorita. Es demasiado lore. Me lleva. Dos y... tres. Ajá.
Ah, you've beaten me again. You're probably the strongest samurai I ever faced, aside from Izanagi.
It's still not enough. I don't stand any chance against Susanoo and the god protecting her.
Only a fool would provoke Susanoo. She asked for the power of a god and received it, without even needing to make a pact.
Without a pact? How could she possibly seek the help of a god without consequences?
Those were different times. We once had a better relationship with the deities. There was a balance. If a god liked you, they would sometimes offer their help without asking for anything in return. And we didn't need to guard this bridge like we do today.
So it is possible for gods to offer help without a pact?
Yes, but that was before Kitsune and then Tengu broke this peace. Everything changed, unfortunately, and we can never hope to stop those two again. The other gods were furious when the situation got out of hand. Fortunately, the snow of Orochi calmed their wrath.
Maybe I have an idea. A way to defeat them. It's worth a try.
The story Izanagi told Jinmu had convinced him that he should stop the war himself. The two rivals, blinded by their hatred, would listen to none but their idols. But Jinmu would force them to return to reason. And if he had to fight them for it, then so it would be.
Bueno, mis queridos pedacitos de obsidiana, yo creo que lo vamos a dejar por acá porque, como les dije en el capítulo anterior, fui un menso y traté de abrir la pantalla de continuación, pero no abrí, se abrió otra vez la de historia de nuevo, bueno, nueva historia, y pues ya no me di cuenta y pues tuve que volver a hacer todo el inicio de nuevo. Pero bueno, espero les haya gustado el capítulo de hoy, aunque es demasiado lore, demasiada información, así que no sé si les esté gustando, la verdad. Pero bueno, nos vemos en la siguiente y hasta luego. Un besazo. Chao.